The story of the river Ganga. Ishan and his grandmother were sitting and talking about Indian culture. Ishan suddenly remembered seeing in a TV program a lot of people praying near the ghats of the Ganga and releasing the ashes in the river. He also recalled that the river was very dirty. He wanted to find out about it and asked his grandmother,
"Why do people pray on the banks of the river Ganga and throw ashes into it?"
Grandmother replied, "The Ganga is a holy river and people release the ashes of their dead kin in it so that their souls may find salvation."
I remember mother saying that salvation is the rest of the soul after death,
added Ishan. According to legends, the Ganga was in heaven but was brought down to the earth, and this made it a holy river. Long, long ago, there lived a king, Sagara, in Ayodhya, who had 2 wives. Kesani was his first wife, and they had a son, Asamanjas, but he was very cruel. However, Kesani's grandson, Anshuman, was kind and brave, said the grandmother. Sumati was the second wife, and she had 60,000 sons, but they were very proud and were not liked by the people, continued the grandmother. King Sagara became very strong and powerful. He had a huge empire, but he wanted to establish the boundary of his empire and tell people who was the king of the land so that they would not be confused. To do this, King Sagara performed the Ashwamedha Yagya, sacrifice of the horse. He selected a good horse from his stables and let him trot wherever he wanted to go. Interested, Ishan asked,
"What would happen if someone stopped the horse?"
Stopping the horse meant challenging the king's authority, and a fight would start. But anyone who let the horse pass would be protected by the king. However, the gods were unhappy with the 60,000 sons of King Sagara as they were very cruel. The gods felt that the world would be a better place without them. So Indra, the king of gods, came down to the earth disguised as a demon. He stole the horse and hid it, said the grandmother. Ishan asked,
"But if Indra stole the horse, how could King Sagara establish his power?"
Very good, Ishan. The king was very upset. He called his 60,000 sons to go and find the horse. They looked far and wide, but could not find the horse. Finally, they came across a wise man, Kapila Muni, deep in meditation. The horse stood near him. The 60,000 sons did not know that Kapila Muni was a sage, and they thought they found the thief. The sons ran shouting towards the sage. He was suddenly disturbed from his prayers. Kapila Muni opened his eyes and glared at them. All the 60,000 sons turned into ashes, continued the grandmother. Ishan exclaimed,
"Oh, what happened then? But what has that to do with the river Ganga?"
Well, when King Sagara did not hear from his many sons, he was worried. He sent his grandson Anshuman to find out. Anshuman, being brave, finally found the horse, but he was puzzled by the 60,000 heaps of ashes. Then the king of birds, Garuda, told Anshuman to take away the horse to finish the yagya. He also told Anshuman about what happened to his uncles. Upset, Anshuman asked Garuda what he could do about it. So Garuda told Anshuman that to send the souls of his uncles to heaven, their ashes must be washed in the Ganga. But the Ganga was in heaven, and it had to be brought down to the earth first. The yagya was finished, but neither King Sagara, nor King Anshuman, or King Dilip, who became the next king, could find a way to bring the Ganga down, said the grandmother.
Then what happened, grandmother?
Asked Ishan. The next king, Bhagiratha, was a brave king. But he had no son who could become the next king, and he was also troubled by the unfinished task of the ashes. He left his kingdom to his ministers and went to the Himalayas to pray and do penance. Brahma was very pleased by Bhagiratha's devotion. Upon hearing his troubles, Brahma granted him both the wishes. But he added that the earth was not strong enough to bear the flow of the Ganga. So Bhagiratha must ask for help from Shiva. The grandmother continued. Then Bhagiratha prayed to Shiva. Shiva was very pleased. He promised to help Bhagiratha. However, Ganga was very proud as she was the favorite of the gods. She thought that she would sweep away even Shiva by her force. Ganga, with all her force, fell on Shiva's head. Shiva knew of Ganga's pride. To teach Ganga a lesson, Shiva stopped her flow by his matted hair. Coming towards the end of the story, the grandmother said, Bhagiratha was troubled and he started praying once again. Pleased, Shiva allowed the Ganga to flow gently. The waters of the Ganga divided into 7 streams. 3 flowed to east and 3 to west. One stream followed the chariot of Bhagiratha. The stream that followed Bhagiratha was so beautiful that all the gods assembled to see it. Bhagiratha then performed the holy rites for his 60,000 ancestors. Their souls could finally go to heaven. Delighted, Ishan said aloud,
So because the Ganga came down from heaven, it is believed to be holy.
But Ishan still looked puzzled and asked his grandmother,
If the Ganga is holy, then why do people make it so polluted? Should it not be kept clean?
Smiling a little, grandmother said, Ishan, that is a very good question. Why don't you ask this question to your classmates and find out?